Alright, hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Artisan Hien. I wanted to wait until I got more time on it to really talk about it. But at this point I've been using this mouse pad for a little over a month straight as my main mouse pad. Several hours, I mean it's been on my desk the whole time. I've played several matches on it and I've scrimmed for probably 100 hours on it. 100 hours is an overestimate. A good amount of time. So I feel like I am now in a better position to make a critical review of this mousepad. So first off, what did I get and why did I get it? I got the Artisan Hien in the XL size with the extra softness. The size I picked out just because I'm a low sense player, and this is the biggest size that Artisan offers. So the size is pretty self-explanatory. When you are getting one, I will say there's a big price markup as you go up in sizes, so if you really don't think you need more than a large, just get a large, because it's like a $10 difference between the large and the extra large. Although I will also say it's a pain in the ass to order from Artisan, so if you're on the fence, I would say 100% it is better to order an XL and have more space than you need than to order a large and then wish that you could get a bigger one. But yeah, so I also got the extra soft, which I don't know how well it's kind of shown up on camera, but this has a lot of give to it. You can really compress the mouse into the mouse pad, and it's also just pretty comfortable, and it's very, very squishy. Here, let me see if I can, and it's not showing up super well. Yeah, so I got the extra large and the extra soft. I got the extra soft just because I know this is a relatively fast pad, and I wanted to have that ability to sort of push into the pad for that stopping power. And I'm not quite sure if that was actually an accurate assessment, but I will say the extra soft, it is very comfortable in terms of pressure. The mouse pad itself is pretty rough, hence why I did get this compression sleeve for it. The mouse pad itself is pretty rough, but it is. I'm certainly glad that I got the extra soft because it would be a lot more uncomfortable if it was the mid, and it had this roughness. Yeah, so now I'm going to actually talk about the performance of it, and then I'll get to quality control and stuff and more personal stuff later, in terms of why I personally picked it. So first off, the Artisan Hien. I don't quite know if I would put this in the area of calling it a speed pad. It is the fastest pad I own that is not a speed pad. It has quite a bit of glide. This is a relatively heavy mouse. This is probably I have done some weight modding to this G403, but it's probably still 80-85 grams. But it has the hyperglides on it, and as you see, there's a lot of glide on this mouse pad. Not only is there a lot of glide on this mouse pad, but it is also a very smooth glide. There's practically no friction until I reverse directions or until I choose to stop. So it is an incredibly smooth glide, and it has a lot of it. That being said, it certainly has stopping power. I feel like when I stop, there's some amount of thing holding me there, right? It helps you stop a little bit. If you need a lot of stopping power, this is not your mouse pad. But if you're looking at this mouse pad and you're saying, hey, I like the large amount of glide, I like the smooth glide, but I need something to stop me, this will still give you that. But it is certainly not a mouse pad with a lot of stopping force. There are people that say that it has a different X and Y glide speed. I don't really feel that. However, I'm doing the glide test and it does look a little bit like that. But in game, I have not once felt that I had more resistance going up and down than I do left and right. And I mean, it doesn't it's very, very similar. There might be the teeniest bit, but I personally can't feel it. Yeah, so that part's kind of a myth. In terms of mousepads I would compare this to, I don't have a big amount of mousepads to compare it to. I will say I do have the version 1 Hayate Atsu. This mousepad is very comparable to that one because just like the Hayate Atsu, it has a good amount of glide. It has a very smooth glide, but it has that stopping power. This mousepad I think is just a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, but it has the same stopping power. So in terms of the surface, I think that I would recommend this to anyone that is saying, hey, I want a fast mouse pad, but I don't want a speed pad. This is like the fastest mouse pad that I probably would not consider to be a speed pad. For me, I personally would only recommend. Well, I guess if it's what you want. I imagine that the mid version of this is closer to a speed pad because it is harder and you don't have that extra soft foam to dig into when you want to stop. So if you're interested in more of a speed pad and you like the idea of this surface, I'd try out the mid. But if you're interested in more of a control pad and you like the idea of the surface, I try the extra soft, which is what I have here. Because on this, I have that really smooth glide. I have that ability to start really quickly, but I also have that ability to stop very quickly by somewhat digging into the mouse pad, and I still have that stopping power. And that's very important to me because I play on a crazy low sensitivity, and because of that, I don't really want much friction, because I am making very big movements. This is like a 180 for me in Overwatch. So I'm doing this all the time. So having that low friction is really good. But again, I also need that very high stopping power. So personally for me, if you have a similar want to what I did when I was looking for a mouse pad, I highly recommend this one. If you are that low sensitivity person that needs that low friction to make big movements, but still needs that high stopping force because you're going at a high speed, I'd recommend this mouse pad for sure. Now into some more like nitpicky quality control things. These are things that, especially since there are so many Artisan mouse pads, especially since there are so many mouse pads, that stuff like this, as more and more mouse pads have come out, is a bigger deal. So first off, I have a cat. His name is Alfred. He is a short-haired cat, but he leaves hair everywhere, which is why if you ever like see my keyboard posts on Reddit or something, there'll inevitably be fucking cat hair everywhere. So, cat hair on a mouse pad is a big deal for me. That is part of why I looked past the Artisan Zero. Funny enough, though, I do still have one in the mail, and I actually plan on reviewing that because I'm still interested in the surface. But cat hair is something that inevitably ends up on my mouse pad. For some reason, this mouse pad just doesn't give a shit about cat hair, and that is incredible. Cat hair doesn't get stuck in the mouse pad. It doesn't really show up on the mouse pad. It doesn't affect the glide. Every now and then I'll see one. It's just super easy to just brush off. Cat hair doesn't get stuck to the mouse pad, I think because it's such a coarse texture. I mean, when I say that this is a coarse texture, I don't want you to think that you're purchasing a sandpaper mouse pad, but this is certainly the roughest mouse pad I have ever had. And I think that if you have sensitive skin, and when you normally play, you just have your skin on the mouse pad, you might want to look into a compression sleeve, or you might want to start wearing long sleeve shirts or something, because this is quite the coarse material. Actually, here, let me see if I can, like, putting the microphone right down, and I'm going to see if I can, that's my nail going across the mouse pad. Okay. Sorry about that, I hope I didn't deafen you by moving it. So it's certainly a very coarse mouse pad. I'm not sure why that is, because it has a very smooth glide. But I think that coarseness of it means that there's basically no static to the mouse pad, and there never will be. And therefore, cat hair really doesn't get stuck to it. So if you have a cat, this is a fantastic mouse pad. I don't quite know if if the cat hair repellent that is on it means that you should buy this mouse pad over another one, but it means that if you're looking at this mouse pad and you have a cat, don't look away. Yeah, so secondly, the rubber backing is just absolutely incredible. I mean, if you have an Artisan mouse pad, it's all the same, you know what it is. It is incredible rubber backing. You do need to like wipe it down every now and then. I haven't, so mine, as you can see, has like little bits of dust on it, and mine, if I really push it at the right points, it does slide. Notice I'm like lifting it up to slide it, but it's still like, this is me really, really pushing it. I'm pushing myself away from the desk. It will stay stuck to your desk. This mouse pad, and any of my Artisan mouse pads, have never once moved on me in game. That being said, if it starts to move on you, that's just because the underneath of your mouse pad is a little dirty. Just take like a little wet wipe to it or something. Even just a microfiber cloth will probably work. Just wipe off all the dust. And then if you want it to be really, really stuck, just like put a drop of water on your desk and then put the Artisan mouse pad over it. The stitched edging. Everyone else has talked about this in every Artisan mousepad review I've ever seen, but if this is somehow the first one you're seeing, the stitching is incredible. It's actually, if you look at it from the side, the stitching at no point goes over the surface. In fact, it's actually a little teeny bit of a dip onto the stitching. So if you go halfway over, so if your mouse is like this, where it's like half of it is off the mouse pad because you made a really big flick, you cannot feel that stitching one bit, which is just incredible. The stitching is not frayed at any point on the entire mouse pad. I have my Hien that I used as my main mouse pad for probably 8 months, maybe a year? Maybe a year, I'm not sure. The stitching's still perfect on that one. It goes all the way around. I mean, the stitching is just everything you could ask for. I know that some people look away from stitching on mouse pads because they're associating it with like big, really shitty stitching on the side of like Corsair mouse pads that makes it really rough if your mouse bumps into it. But this is not like that. This is like strictly to prevent deterioration on the mouse pad. I'm pretty sure that's all I can say about the surface and the mouse pad at this point in my usage. From what other people have said, so this is not my own personal experience, so don't hold me to this. Apparently these mouse pads have like a 3-year length of durability because this is an uncoated mouse pad, so there's nothing that's going to wear off about it. You might have to clean it if it gets dirty. I don't know if these are machine washable. I've never machine washed an Artisan mouse pad, but there's plenty of videos about how to wash Artisan mouse pads, and I'm not going to make another one. Yeah, supposedly they last for like 3 years. I know I have my Hien, and that one lasted me a year, and it looks basically brand new. I mean, that one's a black mouse pad, so there's a little bit of like, you know, the like grime that gets onto black mouse pads. So there's a little bit of that, but I could just wash it and it would look brand new. Yeah, so this is an incredible mouse pad. It is a very good in-between between control and speed. I think it is. I don't think that you will regret it if you buy it. That being said, it is not like just the mouse pad for everyone. I mean, it's not a QCK. I'm pretty sure that everybody can perform pretty decently on a QCK. This is not a QCK. This is a mouse pad where if it sounds like something you want, it is going to be incredible for you. But I'm not just going to say, oh, the best mouse pad in the world for everybody, go get it. But yeah, it's an incredible mouse pad, and if it works for you, it's going to be really, really good. Just watch out for that coarseness. And yeah, a few more things before I wrap up the video. Quick little updates. As you can see, the G403 is on the desk. This is just because I'm working on that Jonak video, and I wanted to test the mouse out more. I've used the GSR for probably like a total of a year off and on. So I'm familiar with that mouse pad. I don't need to test it anymore. But this mouse I wanted to test before making that video. Also, the ZA13, my hypothesis about the small claw grip mouse might have been a little bit incorrect because I've been using it for about a month. A month is typically like, I mean, obviously my aim at no point is peaked because I can always get better. But in terms of peaking with a mouse, I found that through all my mouse testing that if I use a mouse for a month, typically that I will be as comfortable with it as I can be, and I used it for a month and I'm still not quite aiming as well as I did on the FK2 or even the G403. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is about the ZA13 that just doesn't let me aim especially well on it, but I am moving on from it and I'm going to figure out what I want to try next. I have a NP01S in the mail, and I intend on testing that out. Because I was under the assumption that it was kind of just a G Pro wireless ergo shape, but I watched a few more videos, because I had already watched plenty of videos on it. But apparently it is more of an S2 shape with the it's more of an S2 shape with more ergo sides. So that is something that is super interesting to me. So that is in the mail. When it gets here, I will test it and I will make a video on it. I know that somebody requested that, so I just want to make sure that I put that in this video so that they know it's coming. But yeah, so this is the Artisan Hien mousepad in the XL and extra soft. Stay tuned for more videos because I got a couple more Artisans in the mail. I got some mice in the mail, and I got a Jonak setup video in the mail. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.